I've been here 26 years. I know what the rules are. Okay, speaking of homework, here's homework number 1. So it's assigned today. You've got the model solutions. And there'll be a test in recitation on Tuesday the 14th based upon that homework. Okay? And it's based upon the homework subject. So I don't want somebody coming in with an attorney saying, well, the question looked a little bit like 39, but it's not exactly. Well, I think you know what I'm saying. Let's continue with the administration. In addition to the weekly homeworks, there will be monthly tests. Monthly tests, and they've all been scheduled, so you can plan. Okay? The monthly tests are the following dates. September 29th, October 27th, November 17th. The tests will be written in the normal class period. Now, I know you've had all this bonding and orientation period, but I think that it's much better when you write a test for there to be some solid state defects known as vacancies in between the various people. So on the day of the test, we'll have shadow rooms and we'll divide you. So some of you will write in here and some of you will write in some of the other rooms, but you'll write during the normal class period. It'll run the 50 minutes. And likewise, there'll be a test running from 105 to 155, 2 different tests of comparable difficulty. I did this last year, and the difference in the scores on all 3 tests was less than 1%. So I think we're capable of, with the kind assistance of my staff, capable of setting exams of comparable difficulty. But again, you're going to be required to go to the room that you've been assigned. Otherwise, we don't have enough seats or we don't have enough test papers and so on. By the way, on the tests, you will be getting tomorrow these handouts that you can use in working the homeworks. So when you're taking the test, you're allowed to bring in the copy of the periodic table of the elements. We give you a very rich table of constants that's got all kinds of things from the mass of the electron to the speed of light and all this stuff to the requisite number of significant figures. And in addition, you're allowed to take in it 1 sheet of paper. 1 sheet, 8.5 by 11. You can write anything you want on it. You write on the front, you write on the back, you can write on the edge for all I care. All right? You can write, you can print. I've seen students photocopy exams down to the size of a postage stamp. I don't care what you write on there. What it's designed to do is to give you the resources you think you need so that I can focus on measuring whether you've learned anything as opposed to whether you've memorized anything. Okay? And, of course, something to calculate with. There's a final exam in this subject. It's a 3-hour final. The final exam period is December 13th to 17th this year. Do not plan to leave town until your finals are over. Do not come to your instructor and say, I got a really good ticket, but I'm leaving on the 13th. You're here for the finals. But I will say, once you know your final exams, schedule. And you should know that about October 1st. The registrar will publish the schedule. Once you know that, get on the phone, get on the internet, book your tickets. There are 30 degree granting institutions in the Boston area. They start at different times. They all end just before Christmas. Everybody and his pet dog is trying to get a seat on a plane out of Logan Airport. So once you know your schedule, then you make your arrangements. But you must be here for the final. Grading. For freshmen, it's pass, no record. Pass, no record. And to get a pass as a freshman, you have to be performing at C level or better. For upperclassmen, you get the full range of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, F. It's all there, available for you. What is the final grade made of? I already mentioned homework. Now, this is supposed to be 1/6, but I know I don't want any transcendental numbers here, so I made it 16.75 exactly. So it's roughly 1/6 for the homework. That's the average of all of your weekly quizzes in the recitation. Each of those 3 monthly tests gives also a 1/6. So 1 plus 3 is 4. 4/6, which leaves 2/6 or 1/3. So the final is worth 33%. Right? So that's the breakdown. And the grade is C level, and it's based upon a performance of 50% absolute. I want you to learn I do not have you compete against your classmates. There is no curving of the grades. Okay? No curving of the grades. How do I know that that's an absolute pass, though? Well, when we set the exams, we set the tests, I sit with my TAs and we say, all right, let's work out the point scheme on this question. Let's say it's worth 10 points. I say, well, let's grade about 5 or 6 of them, maybe 10 of them, get a sense of it. If a person has the basic concept down, regardless of numerical errors, the person has a basic concept down, he or she must get at least 5 out of 10. If the person has not mastered the basic concept, the person must fail, must get 4 or less. And if that's not the case, we redo the point scheme. All right? So if you propagate that through the whole year, and you have the basic mastery of the concepts, 50 is a pass. That's the way we do it. No grading on a curve. But I also look at trends. To show you the kind of attention you get in this class, on the 17th, Friday the 17th, I know where I and my staff will be. We're going to be in a conference room not far from here, and we're going to be reviewing every person's performance in this class. We're going to go down the whole list. And what are we looking for? We're looking for trends. We're looking for trends. Obviously, if your aggregate score is 75, you're passed. But I'm looking at what's going on in the vicinity of 50, because I don't think my point scheme is that accurate. So suppose I have somebody who comes in here with a shaky background in chemistry from high school and gets a failing score on the first test and works hard and improves but still fails the second test, passes the third test, writes a decent final, and has an aggregate score of 48. I have the freedom to pass that person because I like the trend. Suppose I have somebody else who came here with 2 years of chemistry in high school, got a 95 on the first test, 70 on the second test, failed the third test, failed the final, has an aggregate score of 48. I'll let that person sit there because that person clearly didn't make the investment. That person didn't take ownership of his or her education. That person isn't deciding to be part of 3091 community. In fact, if that person has a 48 and the first person who had the weaker scores has a 46, I can still pass the person with the 46 and fail the person with the 48. If I want to, I can give the person with the 46 an A. I can do anything I want because I'm the professor. What else I can do? There's no requirement for me to fail anybody. My management doesn't ask me what I'm doing in here. Right? They don't know. They really don't. Right? So, if everybody masters the material, I can say A's on the house. They don't say to me, 6 bodies, 1 of them must fail. No. So my point is that I want you to succeed, and I know you can succeed. You know, faculty here have 3 major professional activities. One is teaching, one is research, and the third is administration. We serve on committees. Well, for the last 3 years, I've been chairing the Committee on Undergraduate Admissions and Financial Aid. I chaired the committee at the time you were applying. I read some of your folders. I sat at the selection period where we've got the stacks. 11,000 applications. You went through a grueling screening process. I know the quality of individual in this room. I sat there. It was during the Patriots' Day, no, the President's Day weekend, sitting here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Stacks them, go, yes, no, hell no.